Good morning, everybody. Hey, how are you all? Hello, good morning. How are you? Some more tarot workshop for us all today. So we have people joining here from Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. You're very welcome. So continuing our journey with the Major Arcana, this week we're dealing with the Hermit, and if we get time, the Wheel of Fortune. So here we have the Hermit. And the Hermit is a card that works in conjunction with the astrological sign of Virgo. And this deals with health matters. It's a card of the past. It's about work. So this comes up in our astrological timings as work. So if ever you're looking at what does this mean, well, what's your surrounding cards? What are you getting from that? What are you seeing with the other cards that's going on that's in your actual spread? And that will tell you what's happening, whether it's a work matter, maybe it's wands, or maybe it's an idea because it's swords, or it's an emotional thing, which is the cups, or maybe it's something to do with how that person materializes things, which would be pentacles. So good morning to you all. If you're able to join us, that's wonderful. If not, you're able to watch this on the catch-up. And it's lovely to have you along. Thank you so much for joining. So this is a card of wisdom and experience. So if somebody comes up and says a question in your reading, perhaps maybe, oh, do I know this person? And the Hermit pops up. Yes, there's some history attached. If it was that that person asked that question and said, do I know this person? And it was the Fool. Can you see the difference? There is no actual experience when it comes to the Fool, but with the Hermit, there's some experience there. So this is how the Hermit may or may not come up within a reading. We have wisdom and experience. It's a card of somebody feeling as if they need to be alone. And that can also mean that they are lonely or loneliness. Now, being on your own may be something that's positive. Being lonely may not be. So you'd need to look at the emotions that's going on around this, and whether this person has got lots of swords, therefore they're overthinking things and they need solitude in order to work things out, or whether or not it's a situation of seeing that this person is emotional or that they are carving out their wealth and material security in some way. So this is a card of looking at exactly what's going on. It can also represent somebody that's having counselling, the wisdom of somebody that's able to give counselling. Now, that might not be a health counsellor. That might be somebody who is giving some impartial advice, maybe in their faith or their culture or in their religion, or maybe a friend or some sort of person that's able to give impartial advice, maybe of a spiritual nature. Maybe, when you have a tarot reading, you could look at it as if it's that. So this also can be somebody that is elderly, or it can talk about people around if it comes up in the influences of others, that someone's got some maturity, or somebody is older than their years, or mature beyond their years, or possibly in biological age. It can represent that this is a card of mourning the past by looking back and trying to reclaim things from the past, not wanting to look forwards, wanting to stay still, wanting to go back to how it all was. Maybe a spiritual awakening and a retreat. So this can also imply that somebody needs to retreat. Now, that can be to go on a retreat, of course, but to retreat maybe to actually withdraw oneself, to pull back, to be able to actually say, I go back into myself and I need to actually just do nothing for a while. I need to actually think or rest or recoup, or to have time alone. So it's very much a card of solitude, as you can see. It can be a journey towards enlightenment. If we look at our Hermit in the picture, we're being shown a character here that looks as if they're wise, and the lamp is shining that light for himself and for others. And they are standing on a mountain, on Snow Peak Mountain. And that kind of represents the fact that they're on top of the challenges and the difficulties, but maybe more challenges to come. But there is purity because we've got the white there, as in the snow-capped mountains. So there's a purity, and there is a feeling of being spiritual, but being able to gain insight and to navigate problems and difficulties that they may have faced or yet still to face. So it's a time where we need to be alone and where we need to think. The Hermit might also represent a real-life mentor for during such a time that we are in need of being able to navigate our way through this busy life of ours. It could be somebody like a counsellor, a psychotherapist, or simply a wise friend, as I mentioned. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's got any questions on that, but it does actually really bring in a lot of information when you look at your Hermit. It's your surrounding cards, it's where it is in the spread, and if you use pairs like I do, you will instantly be able to connect to what it is that you're trying to find out. Okay, so let's say that you had the Hermit and you picked a card. Let me just grab a couple from here. If you had the Hermit, and in this regard, look, I brought in another image of the Hermit there, and you happen to get the Page of Pentacles. Well, we've got a young person here that, we've got complete contrast, haven't we? Somebody that's wise, but somebody that is a student, somebody that has or is on their journey to embark upon new knowledge. And because it's a pentacle, it's materializing. So you could say, right, okay, you have the wisdom, okay? And in this card, we can see this person is looking at the books. We've got the dog kind of like as a faithful companion there. And this is a lovely image of the Hermit, taking oneself as in to actually recoup and to be in a position of being able to, bear with me, I just seem to have lost my chat box. Okay, got it back. Hello. You're from India, Mishti. Hi, how are you doing? Is learning Reiki course successful for you healing? Absolutely. Reiki courses are wonderful. And yes, I'm trained in Reiki too. I have to say I don't really use it very much. It's very good for being able to connect spiritually and very good for healing. But because I tend to work as a tarot consultant, it doesn't really come up much. People want burning sort of questions answered. So yes, and perhaps you can watch it on the replay, Mishti. Lovely to have you along here. Thank you for joining and thank you for commenting. Really do appreciate that. Feel free, anybody, to ask questions. So yes, this is somebody studying. And again, I just pulled any card there. Okay, I've got a box of cards here. As you can see, didn't even plant them in any way whatsoever. There you go. And pulled it out of there. And up came the Page of Pentacles. So that means a student learning. We are all students sometimes learning things. I was a student last night trying to get this set up and together for this show today on our tarot workshop so that I could change cameras. Silly me, I pressed key 2 and couldn't understand why it wasn't working because this is key 3. So I will get there. So I'm still learning. But I am trying to impart what I know to share with you. So in order for me to be this, to share to you, I'm also this because I'm studying what I am doing, trying to put this together for you all to join in. Okay? Okay, so I don't quite understand the question there. I already had not feeling the power on my hand. I missed the first bit. Okay, well, I think it's more about others feel it rather than you, because you are the giver rather than the receiver, okay? But also connect with yourself and your own healing, and that will work really, really well in that regard. Don't place all of the emphasis just upon the Reiki. Place it from yourself, because you are the one that's the conduit working between the two. Okay, so let's pull another card and just say that if we have the Hermit, oh crikey, I've got the King of Pentacles. So right, here we go. Same suit, folks. Sorry, probably in order. That's why. So if we have the Hermit and the King of Pentacles, this becomes a different matter. This is somebody that is very further on in their knowledge, and they are amazing because a king is somebody who is serious and mature in what they are doing. And the Pentacles here is saying they will manifest it and it will materialize. So that brings about how that works. Okay, I'm just going to pull one random here. Sorry, let's have a look. Another king. Oh crikey! Sorry, folks. Again, serious matters. This person's really clever. So being the Hermit, if this was a question about work, this person's brilliant. Okay, King of Swords, they're mature, they're able to actually have that knowledge, they have the experience here, they have the experience here. Whereas if we actually experience here too, this is, they're thinking about doing it and they're in intellect. This is more, it will materialize. See that? This is saying that this person will achieve wisdom and knowledge, but they are still learning. It's the beginning of their journey. Okay, so I hope you can see that. Okay, I'm going to place those over there and get rid of that one. So that gives you a little idea as to how things can really, really change. Let's see what. So pick up another card here. What have we got? Now look at that one. That's a good one. Okay, let's say we got that as a pair. And we get the Hermit. So this is, somebody who's on their own. And we see this. They're restricted. They need to take this blindfold off and the answers will come. They're choosing not to see. They've put themselves there in this bind and this bondage. And if you look, they could easily, very carefully step back and use that sword behind their back to cut away the binds that tie them. So this is of their own making, and it looks awful, but swords are actually thoughts. So there's nothing physical in this. This is just their head all muddled up. They need to actually be able to see clearly. They need to be able to cut away the binds. Using the sword behind them, they're able to do that to make sure that they don't step into what looks like the waters here, which could be quicksand or something. There are challenges. The mountains are there in the background. But also, if we look, there's a hill in the background and there's a house and there's security in that. Okay? So using their own wisdom and solitude, they can figure it out. Okay? So I hope that helps. Right. So I'm going to show you another image. So that's a lovely Hermit, okay? And you saw my card. There's another Hermit, okay? Again, I'm going to, I hope you can see that is the Hermit there. If I try and turn my brightness up a little bit, okay, and just move my light just a tad. And to do that, and you might be able to see that, there we go. It's the lighting, you see. Try my best for you, but there you go. All right, so that's the Hermit. And this comes from the Everyday Enchantment deck, and this one comes from Urban Tarot. So very different images, as you can see, for the Hermit. This is somebody that's perhaps in the street taking what they can in order to actually survive. They're surviving by looking at that picture there. So it brings about a very different feel when you look at cards in that regard. And then if we look at the traditional Rider-Waite, which is the same as the one I had on the PDF on the screen for you, we've got different image again. The colours are a little bit different to the ones that we used in the Radiant Rider-Waite. And this is the plastic Rider-Waite deck. I'll show you that just so you can see. Yeah, so these cards are plastic. They come in a beautiful box. And yeah, there. You can actually really, really enjoy using a deck like that. So that's where this one comes from. And here's my image of the Hermit. Okay. And again, this is all about going into solitude. So I worked with graphic designers to actually bring about a physical deck of cards way back in 2006 when it was printed. So we probably worked together in 2005. And I wanted to show that this was a place of solitude, somewhere that you could lock the door away from the world. I wanted to symbolize the fact that you are supported by this greenery and that there is a light in there and that the light bulb moment will come when it's time to. Okay, so that's that one. Got one more Hermit image for you. So move those along a little bit. How are you all doing today? All right? Okay, we've got people watching here from Twitch and we've got people watching here from YouTube. So lovely. And also we've got people watching from LinkedIn. Lovely. Thank you. Nice to see you all. So this is another image, and this is the Hermit, and this is from the Light Seers deck, I think. Yeah, Light Seers, yes, that's where I brought it from. Gosh, so many decks. Okay, so this is the Light Seers deck, and again, we've just been shown somebody being on their own. There's the lamp, there's the mountains and the difficulties of being able to navigate, but we've got steps to take us up the mountain, to take us to that place where we can see everything, and they've got the light around them and the stars. So this is lovely. They've been able to actually see that the enlightenment is actually progressing here, and this person is sitting and saying that they are at peace with that situation. So the Hermit, so it's a really nice card. Apart from the fact that sometimes it can actually show that we are lonely, or that sometimes we fall upon hard times and we feel alone. So depends which deck. So here you probably go, gosh, this person's really using it to their advantage. Use this, we go, gosh, this is awful. This poor person. What do they need? What do they want? This is your classic, traditional sort of mentor coming your way, or, being able to actually get some guidance. I'll leave you to tell me what you think about that one. And I've just mentioned that one. So different images of the Hermit. Hope that helps you all. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. It works in conjunction with the planet Jupiter. And this is very much about expansion and opportunities. Lots and lots of goodwill. The Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favour. All these things in the card represent the things that may come your way. Enlightenment like the angel, knowledge like the eagle, being grounded there like the bull that's got the wings, and being able to just keep moving along with your strength like that of the lion. In my course, I go into great detail about what those four figures mean and what the words on the cards mean. For now, we're keeping this short and sweet because it's a workshop and we're here to help you understand a little bit more about maybe learning about the cards or adapting or modifying where you've come from with the cards. We can all learn something new. So expansion, opportunity and goodwill and contentment. There's a lot of growth in this card, and the planet Jupiter is all about opportunities and expansion, as we explained at the top. It's also a card of energy, and one could say that a lucky time is based upon events and opportunities that will present themselves to you. A little bit like what goes round comes round. You've done your good deed, now here you are going to get that come back to you, but perhaps not in the way that you expect. You may have done good deeds for friends and they do nothing for you, but somebody that can do something for you that is nothing to do with the exchange that you gave to others comes back to you in much better ways than the friend could have ever helped you with. So never focus upon your opportunity coming from those that you've helped. It actually probably comes from the most bizarre places that are probably much, much better for you. It's a card of fate, and it's the ups and downs of life. So sometimes things can karmically go wrong. I do not read reverse cards. I've explained before, by using a pair, major and a minor, in the course that I teach, you can find out how to use a pair so you can be absolutely certain and sure of what it is that your cards are revealing to you. Just having a card like this, as you can see, even in the bullet points, could be this, could be that, could be the other. Yeah, it's good to know, as in with your background information, but use your intuition. But I think that people feel that using your intuition, although it's wonderful, is a huge responsibility to actually give advice to other people. So by using the method, as in a major and minor card, in the way that I teach and the placement of the cards, you can be certain, even using your own intuition and the meaning, the feelings, and the system that I give to you, that you are able to put the pieces of the puzzle together with certainty. And that's what it's all about. And that's where I've been able to teach and read professionally for, well, over 20 years, 30 years in total, but professionally full-time for 20 years. Hi, hello David, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. So perhaps we're coming more or less to the end, David, so perhaps if you want to watch this on the catch-up, it'll be on the Facebook groups and the other platforms that I send it out to tomorrow. It should be on YouTube to watch on the live, and I'll put the version that stays permanently on there tomorrow, perhaps. Today, I'm afraid I'm a little busy and probably won't get around to it. So you're very welcome to watch the playback. So change is usually for the better when the Wheel of Fortune comes in, because the planet Jupiter is making us expand, providing opportunities. And yes, sometimes people look at this as karma, but sometimes our karma can teach us more growth, can't it? Just what the cards say in the bullet points above. By the way, folks, if anybody does want a copy of this PDF or a version of this PDF, I send you a white one with a little bit more sort of keywords rather than sentences. You're very welcome to write to me at hello@tarotwithanmarie.com for your free copy of this. And if you go on my website, you can see the PDF of that on the actual, as a flip book, which is really lovely. I can't demonstrate it on here because it's a device. A flip book only works on a website, so you can only really look at it on that or on a device like your phone. So take a look at that, but do write to me if you want a copy of the worksheet. Hi, David. So look, you're more than welcome. Do keep watching because, although you've missed the Hermit, you can learn a little bit about the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm going to show some cards in a moment. So lovely to have you along. This is also a card, the Wheel of Fortune, is the need to take a long-term view, okay, over the situation. So it's a bit like saying, gosh, when I started putting these workshops together, I did them last year. And everybody went berserk and said, when are you going to do more? And it's like, well, I haven't got anything prepared. So I had to take myself off and get everything together. And thanks to everybody's encouragement, I was able to turn around and design an online course for you all so that you can have as bundles. I just want to do the majors, or I just want to do the swords, or I want to do the cups, whatever. You can just go and work on that on my website and just have that with me taking you through everything and able to stop and start. This is a live workshop. I will be doing spotlight courses. You're more than welcome to actually join in those where we perhaps go, let's do the court cards, let's do Q&A on all of these things. So just covering sort of, the basic sort of workshop here is just taking you through the cards and sometimes choosing your own deck. Okay, Wheel of Fortune, there's a different image, isn't it? Look at that, a tire going down the road. Can you see that, everybody? This is from the Everyday Enchantment deck. I've got loads of cards. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to show you the cards I have, why I choose different decks for different reasons, and what deck you might enjoy and what deck you might actually say, gosh, that's definitely for me. So that's the Wheel of Fortune, as in from the Everyday Enchantment deck. Let me put that there. then I'm going to be in a position to be able to show you the Urban Tarot. Well, look at that one. There's a Ferris wheel, whereas this is showing a tire. So this one kind of Wheel of Fortune, he's a mechanic, or, you know, a guy that's actually, sorry, I don't know where that came. Something's just flown across my screen. So I just wanted to get rid of that. So Wheel of Fortune, again, that happened earlier where I couldn't quite see the writing. It's just the lighting. I've got so many lights, would you believe it? But sometimes it casts a shadow in this particular deck. So, yeah, here's somebody that's actually working. And Wheel of Fortune, you know, if he works hard, he's got all these wonderful things, making everybody happy. They're all having fun, even the dog and the butterfly. And there's the fairies and angels and coins flying around and lovely rainbow. Look at that. Everybody's got energy. Everybody looks as if they're smiling, so good things are happening because he's prepared to work. He's moving. He's not just sitting back. Our hermit was kind of like still. So again, always look at your cards to see what the body language is in your images. If somebody's on the move or if somebody's actually stationary, what does that tell you? Card of action. So it's a card of action. Again, this is a card of action. Look at that lightning sort of action, movement. Ferris wheel moving, yeah? All these sort of images in there can speak to you in different ways. You know, we've got masks there, lots of great things. And there's our plastic traditional Rider-Waite deck, okay? Wheel of Fortune, like the one I had on the PDF, but I used the Radiant Rider-Waite deck on my PDF. So this is the plastic one. Colours vary quite a lot. And that can be important for you as a reader, which is for me. You know, I pick up here, I pick up all that purple and kind of go, right, that's very sort of third eye chakra, you know, opening up your third eye and seeing things happening. This is more a case of, you know, it feels lots going on here and quite traditional in its approach. And what does it actually mean? And then you've got my version. There we go, Wheel of Fortune. That I created back in 2006, and I was just showing the importance of time and the colours, the jewels representing different things, and the elements that are in there to represent some of the planets and some of the key points, as in of the symbols of Earth, fire, air, etc., Mars, Venus, you name it. There's all bits and pieces in there for you. So that's not available anymore. It's out of print, but just turning around and saying to you that there's something that I designed to work with a website that I was starting out with way back then, and I wanted it to be a very clean looking card so that it wasn't too busy and it just picked up as an image, and I went off and made it into a physical deck. So that's the reason I show you where that comes. Okay, and then the Wheel of Fortune in the Lightseers deck. Interesting. They've used something, you know, we've all got that wheel, haven't we? Yeah? This is like a disc, and she's standing on top of that. She's on top of the situation. Got her head above the clouds. Clouds in images in tarot can show that we can't see. We don't have that clarity. We don't have that situation to be able to say, my goodness me, I need to be able to have a clarity in my thinking. Well, when we're above the clouds, we've got over that and we are able to see clearly. So that's quite symbolic. Okay, no questions today, different time of day. Sorry, I got everything sort of ready, and hopefully now we've got smooth running. I think the technical side is starting to go well, providing I can remember 1, 2, 3. So bear with me, folks. I will see you next time. No questions today. Thank you for asking about the Reiki, and nice to have you joining. Thanks for typing in those that did, and coming in from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Do take care of yourselves. If you would like a copy of the white version of my PDF, and I will go back to that so that you can see it. This is the version I'm talking about. If you'd like a version of this in white with just bullet points rather than sentences, do write to me at hello@tarotwithanemarie.com. I'd be happy to send that out to you. And there you can also book a reading with me if you wish, and soon the new online courses so that you can study by just being logged into the website with all of the classroom stuff that I provide on deeper learning of how to read a tarot. Till next time, thanks for joining me. Do take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.